If you've been trying to get pregnant for any length of time, you've probably received some well intentioned but poorly informed or just downright wrong advice. Like from your Aunt Myrtle, who has 5 kids and tells you just to relax and put your legs up after sex and it'll happen. Today, we're going to talk about common fertility myths and why working with a professional really can make all the difference. Let's start with the just relax and it'll happen. Well, I think a lot of people think that's true, that you get stressed out, so your body isn't just functioning how it's supposed to. And to a certain extent, that is true because when you're stressed, it raises cortisol, which is a hormone. And then there's this cascade of effects beyond that with your progesterone, your estrogen, and testosterone, and things like that. So there is some truth to this. However, for most people, it's more than just they need to relax. For some people, they can't relax because their body is actually stuck in the side of the nervous system called the sympathetic or the fight or flight, that their body actually just can't relax. And typically that's due to a mineral imbalance or some overwhelming stress in their life. Relaxation can be an important part, but it's not the only part of working to get pregnant. And it certainly is not just relax and it will happen. It really takes changes in your lifestyle and nutrition to help your body get to a place where it actually can relax and rest and be in a place that it is ready to conceive. Let's talk about age as the biggest factor in fertility. Absolutely false. Not true at all. You can have someone who is 25 and is very depleted in minerals or has been on birth control for 10 or 15 years, which really puts you in a state of menopause if you do your research, that can't get pregnant. Or you could have somebody who is 40 and very fit and very healthy and has taken care of themselves. You can see how age is not the only factor. There is some truth to the fact that age can affect egg quality and ovarian reserve and things like that. However, it is not the only factor, just like our last myth. So if you are older, I've seen women in their late 30s to mid 40s get pregnant, have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. But it really comes down to the fact, is your body replenished? Have you had babies before? If you're dealing with secondary infertility, it's very possible that you could be depleted from having those babies because those babies are going to take from you what they need, whether your body has it to give or not. And so when I have women that come to me with secondary infertility, a lot of times they're just depleted in nutrients. And as soon as we bring those nutrients up to speed, then their body gets pregnant. Let me know in the comments if you've heard any of this advice and what you thought of it. But really, that's one reason it's so important to work with a practitioner who knows what they're doing so they can look at this whole big picture and not just the fact that you're, in your late 30s or early 40s. IVF is your only option. I've had couples before come to me and their next step is an IUI or an IVF, and they just don't want to go that route. There's a lot of side effects from those medications and obviously a lot of cost. And quite frankly, if you really do your research, IUI is very, very low success. And IVF, I don't think is as successful as they say it is. And if you do the research, you will find that. And usually it takes multiple embryo transfers in order for a pregnancy. And I will say that as a Christian who values life, I have a lot of moral and ethical issues with IVF, with leftover embryos and creating life in a lab. Like, there are just so many things that I really have moral and ethical issues with. So if that's you, I'm here to tell you some good news today that that is not your only option. And in fact, research shows that nutrition and lifestyle actually are more successful than IVF. And it can make a huge difference just tweaking your diet, eating well, getting those minerals replenished, or getting rid of toxins in your life or in your body. And right now, my pregnancy coaching program has a 70% success rate. And not only that, but the majority of my clients go on to have more than one baby. I have a client who I worked with a few years ago who just had her third baby since we've worked together. So IVF is not your only option. And if you have a check in your spirit about it, there's definitely other options for you. If you're interested in what my coaching program looks like, it is a 6-month comprehensive coaching program, and we really look at both partners, which I think is very unusual too. And even the medical route, I've worked with couples who have done IUI procedures and the husband hadn't even had a sperm analysis yet. It's very important to work with both people in that dynamic because it takes two to tango, and his DNA and specifically some things in that sperm really have an impact in how the DNA replicates and how it attaches, and if that placenta forms well. a whole cascade of things. So we work with both partners. And like I said, it's a 6-month program. And if you're like, Eesh, I want to just ask you quick, like, how long did you prepare for your wedding? For most couples, it's a year or more that they planned and prepared for their wedding. And then they don't plan and prepare for pregnancy the same way. So most of our couples start trying around like the 4-month mark to get pregnant. And like I said, we have a 70% success rate. Again, not just pregnancy. I don't want you to just get pregnant. I want you to stay pregnant. I want you to have a healthy pregnancy and I want you to have a healthy baby, which is why this program is so comprehensive. We take a look at what is going on in both partners. We actually do a custom supplement powder for each person and sometimes some other supplementations. And then if we need to, we dig a little bit deeper and see what else is going on. I also offer a pregnancy promise, meaning that if in those 6 months you don't get pregnant, I will continue to work with you for up to another 6 months until you do get pregnant. I believe so strongly in this and what it can do for your life. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in doing, make sure you click below to schedule a consult call. I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear your story and share how this program might be beneficial for you. In the next video, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth and talk about some of the things I see as a fertility nurse and nutritionist in couples who are struggling with fertility. And I see these things come up often, and maybe you will have one of these things. So make sure you watch this video and learn more about what might be standing in your way of getting pregnant.